Sue Webley. Welcome to another episode of Inspire. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Inspire. Listen, I could be tired as all get out. And once I hear that intro come in, I'm just so excited to be here with you on a Saturday morning. Listen, I know some of you are joining us from Cali, especially my guest this morning. And so I'm especially glad that you are here. But wherever you are joining in from, welcome. I see you coming. Hey, Chuck Hunt, listen, the people are already posting in the chat. So welcome this morning. I see you hanging out on Instagram. If y'all see me looking like this, that means I'm looking at Instagram. So we are live right now on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Instagram. And so I want you to do me a really big favor. I want you to share it out. We're going to have some really good conversation this morning, and I don't want anyone to miss it. Just share with your family, share with your friends, share it within your networks, right? Tell them there's some good conversation happening over on Inspire this morning. If you just stumbled upon this broadcast and you don't know who the heck I am or what I do, I am Sue A. Webley. I am your host. I'm an author, producer, an award-winning clergy or minister, and the founder of Kairos Solutions, which is a full digital service agency that helps individuals and organizations navigate the virtual space with confidence. And Inspire is a live interview style broadcast that is on a mission to encourage, empower, and embolden individuals to create change in their personal lives, their communities, and in the world. And so as our amazing guests come on, our entrepreneurs, our influencers, our creatives, and others share their testimonies, tips, tools with us. We hope that you who are watching right now on social media, you who will hear this after the fact, you will catch who will catch this in the replay, will be inspired to elevate your mindset, to pursue your dreams, and to do, as the late Dr. Katie Geneva Cannon put it so eloquently, the work that your soul must have. So I want you to do me a favor. If you are on any of these platforms, if you are in my Inspire with Sue platform right now, thank you. Go ahead and follow. But if you are not, I want you to go ahead and follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. I am building up those two platforms under the Inspire with Sue W brand. So do me a favor, help me increase my numbers. Go ahead and follow. If you are on my Sue A. Webley page, thank you. Thank you for following me. Thank you for liking. You can find me at Sue A. Webley all across social media. If you put in Sue A. Webley, you will find me. So if you already haven't followed me, please go ahead and do so. Also, make sure you hit up our YouTube channel at Kairos Solutions LLC, and you can head over to our website at www.getinspired.live. On our website, you can learn more about the Inspire Show, learn more about me. You can watch all of our previous episodes, and you can sign up for our newsletter. We don't want you to miss anything that's happening with Kara or with Inspire. And so sign up, subscribe to our newsletter. Some wonderful things that's getting ready to take place with the Inspire brand. Also, you can listen later on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. We are Inspired with Sue on all of those platforms. So I'm about to ask a question. If you've been with me any amount of time, if you've been with me over the last 2 years that we've been doing this show, what are you sipping on this morning? Let me know what you're sipping on. Let me know where you're watching from and what you are sipping on. Now, you know me, I got coffee in my cup. Oh, this is my cup this morning, my Inspired Black Excellence. If you want one of these, let me know. Inbox me, and I will tell you how to get one. So I have coffee in my Inspired Black Excellence cup. I'm going to go ahead and take a sip. Oh my God. So this is regular Colombian coffee with caramel. Babe got me some caramel, some almond milk creamer that's caramel. That's not how I wanted to say it, but that's what it is. And it's so good. It's so good. So let me know where you're watching from and what you are sipping on. Is it coffee? Is it tea? Is it water? Is it apple juice? Orange juice? Is it a smoothie? Is it a little something stronger? Listen, if it's something stronger in your cup, some of us need that. I'm not judging you this morning. Let me know what you are sipping on in the chat. Of course, we're going to ask our guest what she's sipping on when she comes to hang out with us in a few minutes. But let me know what you're sipping on. Hey, Minister Sandy, I see you over there on Instagram. You're joining us from Cali. Listen, I love the West Coast people, man, because they listen. Those are troopers right there. They gonna come in at 7:00 in the morning. So I love you. I love all of you, but I love the West Coast people. All right. So Sandy said, joining you from Cali, having some applesauce on this morning, and you are okay. So listen, Minister Sandy is watching us right now on her YouTube Fire Stick. So you must have it on the big screen. Oh, am I? Are we on big screens, Minister Sandy? Come on, y'all. Listen, y'all put it on the big screen, y'all. Put it on the big screen. Listen, it is my goal to we are building up the Inspire Network, and yes, we're gonna have our own channel. So we're going to be on a big screen on a Roku app near you pretty soon. Let me know what you're sipping on, y'all. What you got in your cup this morning? Hey, Princess Scott. You're from Detroit. Hey, what up, though? What up, though, Princess Scott? Good to see you. Hey, Brenda Wilson. Brenda Wilson Vann. I know who is that? Bianca's going to tell me who that is when she comes in. But that's is that Mama? Yes, okay, it's Mama. Yes. Hey, Mama. It's so good to see you. Thank you for joining us this morning. Hey, Chuck Hunt. Chuck, what are you drinking? Princess, let me know what you're drinking. Brenda, let me know what you're drinking. I see some of y'all in here that don't want to talk, but it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to speak today. Listen, we are doing a book giveaway later on, so you have to hang out with us to have your chance to win a book from our dear guest this morning. So, yeah, we're getting ready to get into our conversation. I don't want to belabor the time. You know how I say in the church. We don't want to belabor the time. And then they belabor the time. We are going to go ahead and begin to introduce our amazing guest who is also joining us from Cali this morning. I believe it is West Coast over there again. So she was here. I know if she call time was 6:45 a.m. her time. So I know she was up much earlier than that, getting herself ready. And so we so appreciate Bianca Vann being with us this morning. We appreciate her being with us this morning. I'm excited to introduce her. Bianca is a passionate mental health advocate, social worker, youth minister, and then the author of BEEcome Unstuck, which we are going to hear all about today. A powerful workbook designed to help people break free from what holds them back and truly thrive in life. Originally from Cleveland, Ohio, she now calls San Diego. I got that right. San Diego home, where she uplifts the next generation through her work as youth and young adult minister at Greater Life Church. Bianca's journey is one of strength, purpose, and transformation. After experiencing her own life altering challenges, which you were going to hear about as well, she turned her pain into purpose. And today she travels the country as part of her movement, B Speaks, to motivate and empower others to live their fullest lives. I can't wait for us to dive into Bianca's wisdom today, especially as she is celebrating the anniversary of Become Unstuck. And so, as we prepare to meet her, let's take a look at one of her recent reels.
Hey y'all, so I just want to tell somebody to start, right? Just start. Whether you need to start again, whether you need to start for the first time, or you need to start over, but just start. Move your feet, get up, start the plan, right? Start the therapy, start the diet, start the book, start the song, do the application for the job. Start, just start it, right? Because the only thing that's holding you back and keeping you stuck is the fact that you haven't started. So it's okay to start again. It is okay to start over. But just start. Do it. You'll thank yourself later.
Good morning, Bianca.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You look fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for that reel. Just start again.
Yeah, just start.
Yeah, just
Just
start.
start. You caught me off guard with that one. That was dope.
Well, that is a reminder for so many of us, right?
Yeah.
That it's okay to start over,
Hmm.
right?
It is.
When we embark on a particular mission or a goal and it doesn't go the way that we want it to, a lot of us want to give up, right?
Hmm.
And it's important to know that, yeah, we can start as many times as you
Hmm.
need to,
Hmm.
right?
Absolutely.
There's no
Absolutely.
shame in starting over again.
Not at all.
So thank you so much for that powerful reminder this morning. I love this faith over fear T-shirt.
Thank you. Thank you.
Listen, you have a few T-shirts on your social media. I'm like, okay, yep, want that one. So I'm gonna have to inbox you and find out what we
Yes,
all was.
inbox me. Inbox me. I'm trying to get back a little of my creative, my creative side. So yeah. Hit me
Okay,
up. I'll get you one.
all right. What do you have in your cup this morning before we get into our conversation?
Okay, so listen, I got a Starbucks refresher. Okay.
Okay,
It's a venti size, no water, light ice, no lemonade, extra base. This
okay.
thing right here, baby, listen. If you know, you know. I drink them every day, Sue. Every single day.
So what exactly is in that refresher? Do they have multiple kinds?
They got pineapple, they got
Mhm.
dragon fruit, and they got strawberry. It's pure caffeine. So that's why I don't get the lemonade or the water because I need all the energy. And yeah, it does the job. Hmm.
Is that better than coffee?
To me, it is. For me, yeah. For me, it
I'm gonna
does.
try one day. I don't know if I could give up the coffee, child, but I'm gonna try one day. Hi, Alexis B. Green. Thank you for joining us. She said, "Come on, cup." Yogi. Hey, Wonston, I see you. I see the people are coming in. Do me a favor again, share, share, share. I'm excited about our conversation with the amazing Bianca Vann this morning. So let us get into your book. Well, first of all, congratulations on the
Thank you.
anniversary of Become Unstuck, your workbook. Can you tell us what inspired you to write it and the journey behind it?
Yes, absolutely. I wrote the books 7 years ago. And when I wrote the book, I found myself just in a very stagnant place in my life. I have a master's degree in social work, but at the time I was working for a job and I can only make about $22,000 a year. Wasn't really making a lot of money. I was suffering from diabetes and polycystic ovarian syndrome. I was almost 300 pounds, just really uncomfortable in who I was physically. I had a movement called B Speaks, and it stood for Build, Empower, and Encourage. But at the time, I wasn't speaking, I was struggling. I was trying to speak life to other people, but I felt like dying. I was just really in a space where I got up and did the same thing every day over and over again, went to a job where I felt like I wasn't appreciated. I was overweight. I was in a relationship with someone that I had been in a relationship with for 9 years. And I gave more to my relationship than I did to myself. And I just lost myself entirely. I was just trying to just exist, and I wasn't really living. So I one day I was just like, you know what, God, I can't do this anymore. I was engaged, and I had a conversation with my ex fiance, and I was just like, hey, I'm gonna leave. And at the time I was living in Baltimore, Maryland. I said I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna quit my job, and I'm gonna pack up my car, and I'm going to go to California. And in a matter of 3 days, I just up and left because I knew if I didn't do something drastic, I was going to continue to stay stuck. I was going to continue to go back to that same job. I was going to continue to eat my emotions away. I was going to continue just to, put on this mask that everything was okay and B is going to speak and B is going to empower you. I had to do it. I had to do it, and I had to do it quick. So I literally, in a matter of 3 days, packed up my car and I drove across the country. And I didn't have a job. Um, I didn't have anything. I just went home to my parents, like, hey, I'm here. Um, and I started my journey of healing. And when I started writing "BEEcome Unstuck," I didn't know that I was writing a book. I used to write on the back of envelopes or the back of post-it notes and bills that I had. I would just write little thoughts, things that would come to me. And in a matter of 2 weeks, God told me that that was going to be a book to help others walk into their freedom. Um, so that's how it started. And as I began to write the book more and more, I realized that it wasn't necessarily the things that I was connected to that had me stuck. I had to really look at the common denominator, which was myself. And a lot of times we point blame on other things. And when I first started the book, I'm like, yeah, because that relationship did this and that relationship did that. And I was just like, you know what, Bianca, it's not even about the relationship, it's about you. And I think that's a lot of times we miss that point when we're trying to go to a different level in freedom. We point the blame to other people. So I really had to become unstuck from Bianca. And that's really where it started. And from then I wrote the book, and then I did a conference. I did a conference in Atlanta, Georgia, called "BEEcome Unstuck." It was a retreat. It was a weekend retreat. About 20 women were there, and we dived into different activities, different exercises among from the book. We had different journaling experiences, different accountability partners, things like that, to really just help build the women up from becoming unstuck and teaching them how to identify where they were stuck. And um, that's where the journey began, honestly. And
Mhm.
from then, I was invited to different places to speak, taking my book, different workshops in LA. I did one in Cleveland, did one in Maryland. Just really teaching people just to start. And that's why the video you posted was so ironic, because becoming unstuck is really just making a decision to start.
Yeah. And it does boil down to it. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. It does boil down to a decision,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
sometimes we get to the point in life where the decision actually sticks, because many times we know when we are not living, being our best selves, not living
Hmm.
our best life, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
and it's like, oh, we have to make a change. We got to do something different.
Hmm.
But there's a catalyst. There's something that happens when the decision actually sticks, and when that
Right.
decision sticks is when change begins to happen. So thank you.
Absolutely.
We're grateful that your decision stuck, Bianca. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I see more of you coming in. Leonard says it's an amazing book. Let me throw that up on screen for you. It's "Become Unstuck, a guide to help you restart your life." That is the book. And I am posting that link inside of the chat. That Amazon link is inside of the chat. But we are also going to give away a copy. We're giving away a copy of this book today. Go ahead if you're interested and type the hashtag inspire, hashtag inspire,
Mhm.
right? So that we can do our book drawing. So don't put a space, just hashtag inspire, and you'll be entered into the drawing for the book today. So in what ways do you believe that you have evolved? What ways have you changed since writing the book, and what does it mean to you today?
So this is really a loaded question, Sue, because honestly, I've evolved in a lot of ways. And if I'm being completely transparent with you, when I first wrote my book, it was definitely what catapulted me to a different level of freedom. Um, and it was a decision that I made, and evolving throughout the last 7 years, I realized that it's really easy to become unstuck from one scenario or one relationship and then to become stuck to something else. And I realized that it's just because it looks differently doesn't mean that it's still not a place of stagnation.
Yeah.
And I realized, yeah, I may have became unstuck from a bad relationship, but I then became stuck in the title of being a mom, right? Or I became stuck in title in being a title of the program manager at my job, or I became stuck in being, oh, that's Minister B, and in being stuck in these different titles. What I'm realizing is there's still a form of complacency in that, right? So
Mhm.
I'm evolving and learning that becoming unstuck isn't a milestone that you reach, it's a mindset that you have to adapt.
Yeah.
And it's the principles are still the same. It's just I think I've learned that it's not a destination that I'm trying to reach. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
And what it means to me today, it's funny. I read my book a month ago, because I hadn't read it. I just kind of put it away to the back burner. So, and honestly, I've been playing the sidelines for other people. I've been playing the sidelines for my job, and
Mhm.
pushing everybody else's brand, and oh, I can do this for you. And why don't you do this idea? And that was a form of me being stuck, right? Because I was stuck in fear because I'm not going to put myself back out there to be like, oh, okay, she's speaking again. And, okay, that was a fear of mine that I had for the last 5 years. And that is a form of being stuck, right? So
Yeah.
it didn't look like I was stuck, but I was playing the sidelines for other people. So now it's me reigniting that fire again and realizing that becoming unstuck is an ongoing process, and it's a mindset that I have to switch every single day. So now what it means to me now is I'm becoming unstuck daily, hour by
Mm.
hour, because I don't want to be so complacent in any of the titles that I carry. I don't want to be complacent in any of the roles that I carry. I don't want to be complacent in anything in my life. I don't want to operate in fear anymore because it's so easy to do that. So um that's how I evolved, because 7 years ago I thought, okay, I had it all figured out, right? Become unstuck. Here are the tools, and they are great tools, and I still use them to this day. But I realized that I have to continue to use them every day, right? I
Yeah.
just can't just stop. So that's how I've evolved, and that's what become unstuck means to me currently.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. It's something about those tools, right? And we, those of us who desire to become unstuck, and you're going to help us with some points later on. But it is important to know that we don't just use the tools one time and put them down.
Right, right,
Right?
absolutely not.
When you are a licensed therapist, right?
I'm
You
a
have your
master.
master's, your
Hmm.
in social work. And you give those individuals that come to you for care tools, but once they finish their sessions with you, they still have to pick those things up and use them,
Right. Yep.
right? They
Absolutely.
still have to use those
Absolutely.
tools because you're not going to be there all the time.
Right. Yep.
So it's
Absolutely.
important for us to know that, yeah, those tools, you got to keep using them,
Mhm.
right? Don't just lay them down there to get rusty.
Yeah.
You know, keep using them every single day. You'd rather get them worn out by using them than just,
Right.
throwing them down
Right.
and them not working out the way that you need them
Mhm.
to. If you
Absolutely.
have, thank you again, Bianca. If you have a question for Bianca, a comment, please be sure to post it. If it's a question in particular, put Q before that question so I can be sure that Bianca has the opportunity to respond to that question before we end our show today. So, in the book, you emphasize the importance of identifying those things, right? And you talked a
Mhm.
little you talked a little bit about some of the things that had you stuck. But what are some common things in general that hold people back, and how can we start recognizing them?
Some of the common things that hold people back, I think, are habits. A lot of us adapt the idea, well, this is how I've always been. And a lot of times we have these habits and don't realize that they're actually problems. So mundane habits, doing the same thing over and over again. Another common thing, relationships, doesn't necessarily have to be a intimate relationship, but friendships. Some of us find ourselves stuck because of history, just because it's been a long time, but the chemistry is gone, right? But we feel obligated to stay stuck in something just because of how long we've invested the time. Um, People can be stuck in, um, my pastor says it all the time, but you can be stuck at a church that you're not growing in. You're just going there, that's a form of being stuck. You can be stuck at a job that you're not feeling fulfilled in, that you just, I hate going to work, or here we go again with this job. That's a form of being stuck because you're not living the abundant life that God created you to live. So that's a form of being stuck. And to identify that, you really have to have these hard conversations with yourself. You really have to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, like, is this really the life that I believe God has designed for me to live? Am I living my best life? The Bible does say that God came so that we may have life more abundantly. So if everything that's connected to me isn't abundant, then that's a form of being stuck. So you have to literally sit there and ask yourself. You have to get in the mirror, take the mask off, take the wig off, take the lashes, just really be real with you and be like, what am I doing? Is this really benefiting me? Is this really the life that I know that God said that I'm supposed to have? Am I connected to things that are not serving me purpose? You really have to ask yourself. And there's tools in the book that really ask you these hard questions that sometimes we don't even think about, right? Because it's a mundane routine. We just do the same thing over and over. And sometimes we don't even realize we're stuck. A lot of times we don't. It's just how we've been. Change and growth is very uncomfortable. So
Yeah.
we like to stay stuck because it's comfortable, it's familiar. But you have to get to a place when you say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And then when you're
Yeah.
sick and tired enough, is when you'll be like, okay, what I got to do to get out of here? Because if this is the life I'm going to live over and over and over again and I'm okay with that, then hey, baby, you do you, right? But
Yeah.
if you want more out of life, you have to get to a place where you're willing to, by any means necessary, get from this place of stagnation. So it's really getting to the root, really getting to those hard conversations. It's really taking the mask off and be real with you, because you can't
Yeah.
hide from you, right?
Yeah.
And just because you go to work and we dress up and we go to church and we put on our Sunday's best, but we still go home to us. And it's really about getting with us and God and really say, okay, God, tell me your will for my life. Really align for me what it is that I'm supposed to do, and everything else that does not meet those expectations, help me to navigate away from it.
Mm. Mm. Y'all hear that? One of the hardest things to do, and I know I've had this difficulty in my own life, is that self reflection, that
Mhm,
introspection,
mhm,
that asking oneself those hard questions.
mhm,
It's difficult for many of us to look in the mirror. Like
mhm.
we know something's wrong. We know something isn't right. Um, and many of us, we deflect. We
Mhm.
blame our life circumstances. We blame how we were raised. We blame all of these things that are external. And we don't do enough of checking
Right.
our internal, right? The
Mhm,
inner me, right?
mhm.
So the church, folk in the church looks like, oh, the enemy did this, the enemy did that, the
It's
enemy is
the
attacking me.
mhm,
It's not the enemy, it's the inner me,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
It's you.
Yep.
And so the sooner we understand that it is us and nothing that's external on the outside of
Mhm,
us,
Mm-hmm.
right? The
Mm-hmm.
better off we will be. I see. Hey, Professor Natasha Robinson, I see you on Instagram. Thank you for joining us. Again, we are in conversation with the amazing Bianca S. Vann. She is the author of Become Unstuck, a guide to help you restart your life. We
Mm-hmm.
are going to be giving away a copy of this book today. So if you're interested, type the hashtag inspire. Type the hashtag inspire. We will have that drawing before we leave each other today for your opportunity to win a book. We also want to support Bianca, so that link to purchase it, Amazon, is in the chat. All right. Not everybody's going to win today, but we do want to support her. And so that link for you to be able to purchase that book on Amazon is in the chat. I see one question so far. I'm going to make sure that Bianca responds to that in a little bit. Please, 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 if you have a question for Bianca, go ahead and post it in the chat. Go ahead and post it in the chat. We'll be sure that she gets the opportunity to answer that question in a minute. Actually, right now, let's take a little break, Bianca, so you can get a sip of your refresher. And I could do some housekeeping. We'll be right back with some more conversation with Bianca S. Vann. I want to invite you, before I invite you, I want to say thank you again for joining us this morning. I want to invite you to connect, follow, like, and subscribe. I'm building up Facebook and Instagram under the Inspire with Sue W brand. So do me a great big favor and go ahead and follow me on those two platforms. You can also find me, Sue A. Webley, everywhere. On TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all over the place, even LinkedIn. And I want to invite you to head over to our website at www.getinspired.live. You can find out all about Inspire, find out more about me as the host. You can view all of our previous episodes, and you can subscribe to our newsletter. We don't want you to miss anything that's coming up with Inspire. And so the way to stay in the know is to subscribe to our newsletter. I promise I won't spam you. I won't overload your inboxes with information. So do me a great big favor and subscribe. You can also listen later on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. We're Inspired with Sue on all of those platforms. Are you or someone you know on a mission to create change while inspiring others to do the same? And so we want to hear from you. Want you to join me in conversation on a future episode of Inspire. So once again, you can head over to our website, www.getinspired.live, to book your appearance today. You can book your appearance right on our website. So just click the tab. You can fill out the intake form. I will get a notification that form has been filled out, and then I will contact you so that we can schedule your appearance on Inspire. Now, I'm going to do this every single Saturday, every Saturday. Every time that we go live, I'm going to do this. Their sibling and community needs a kidney. Pastiani needs a kidney, looking for a kidney donor. She's in search of potential donors who are fairly healthy, who have the blood types A or O, and who has the courage to commit to surgery and help to save her life. She would love to share the safety measures with you. If you are interested, you want to learn more, you can contact her and her family directly by emailing peacepeopleinc@gmail.com. That's peacepeopleinc@gmail.com. You can also head over to emerylivingdonor.org. You can fill out the survey and enter her name, Ayana Davis. Enter her name, Ayana Davis. Listen, she has done so much for our community, and we want to support her in her search for a kidney. Let's do this in community, y'all. Let's help her. Let's help our sibling get her kidney. Let's help her get her kidney. And so we are going to go back to our conversation with Bianca Vann. Welcome back, Bianca.
Hey, listen, that theme song is lit.
I saw you
that theme,
jamming.
listen, that theme song is lit. I like that. I like
Thank you,
that.
thank you. I saw you shimmying back there.
I know. I was like, hey.
So thank you again for joining us. It's just
Yeah,
been just such wisdom coming from you. So grateful that
thank
you
you.
were here hanging out with us this
Me
morning.
too.
So living in your purpose is something that you speak about often. How do you help people discover their purpose, especially when they feel disconnected from it?
hmm I think ultimately, and this is going to be different for different people, right? Because
Mhm.
being a minister, or being someone that's really, um, I take my relationship with Christ very seriously. So a lot of what I speak does have a religious content, but I believe that naturally most of our purpose, well, everyone's purpose in life really is to live a life that's pleasing to God, right? Our life is supposed to be to make disciples and to bring people closer to God ultimately. But in doing that, we all have a different purpose, and I think when we spend time and really go through that journey, like I was talking about really getting with yourself and identifying things that you enjoy doing. What are you passionate about? What are some talents that you have? What are things that make you happy and make you smile and bring fulfillment to your life? But it's also too having those conversations, not only with yourself, but with God. You know, Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the plans I have for you. So sometimes, like, okay, God, well, what are the plans? Because I don't really know what's happening here. And I feel really disconnected, and you got to have those heart to hearts if you're yearning for fulfillment, because some of us are okay with not living in our purpose, right? We're okay in living in other people's purpose. And that's honestly kind of how I felt I lived the last few years. I was living in fulfilling other people's dreams and other people's purposes in life. But I do believe that purposes change too, based on the season that you're in. Some purposes may just be for a particular time. Some purposes may be for a lifetime. So it's really about doing the work to really identify, with yourself, what are the things that you're passionate about? What are things that, you enjoy? And also having that conversation with God, like, what did you create me for?
Mm.
I need you to reveal. I need my gifts and my talents to make room for me. I need you to illuminate it, and then when you feel disconnected, it's about one going back to the root and having those conversations, because that's kind of what I did this past 2 months, like 2 months ago. I was like, okay, God, I can't. What am I supposed to be doing? Like seriously, like what is this? I'm more than just being a mom, right? I love my kids, especially I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. I talk about that in my book. And I used to feel inadequate because I was told I would never be able to have kids. Um,
Mm.
so that was one of the ways that I was stuck too. So I really thank God for my kids. But I became so enamored with the fact that I had kids that that's really all I focused on. I became a mom, and I knew that, okay, God, thank you for my gift. And I want to create a legacy. I want to show my kids that there's more than just mommy being a mom. Like even last night, my daughter, I was taking notes for today, and my daughter was like, I want to write with you, and I just thought it was really cool because she didn't know what I was doing. But the fact that she saw me up doing things and just, doing more than just the mommy usual, so it's really about identifying, what season you're in, because each season will demand a different you. And when you're identifying your purpose and operating in your purpose, it's really just about having those hard conversations and just say, okay, God, I feel a shift in my life. Please tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. Show me what I'm supposed to be doing. Connect me to the right people. Connect me to the right resources, God. If I'm not supposed to be connected to this, if this is not my purpose in the season, remove it. I mean, you really have to have those kind of conversations, but you also have to prepare yourself for what the answer is going to be. And I
Mm.
think that's a lot of times that's why we stay stuck, right? Because we don't want to hear the answer sometimes, because the answer will be sometimes you got to move your feet. Sometimes it will be you got to leave the relationship. Sometimes it will be you got to quit the job, So it's really about how bad you want it, how bad you want to become unstuck, how bad you want to live unstoppable and really live in the purpose that God called you to live in. So it's it's a you thing, you know, it's it's really a you thing, and how bad you want to succeed and how bad you want to evolve and live the life that God really created you to live.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Your workbook also talks about the power of rewriting, and I think that when we kind of look at our purpose, I love what you said that your purpose might shift according to the season, right? And
Hmm.
that we should be discerning what season we are in, and so doing all of that work is rewriting,
Hmm.
right? It's part of rewriting that script
Right.
of your life. Can you say a little bit more about or share some more steps that folk can take to rewrite their own story?
Yeah. You think about when you rewrite a script, you think about a script, you have to evaluate the characters in the script, right? You have to evaluate the plot. You have to evaluate um, the setting of the script. And it all goes back to literally sitting down and really just being vulnerable with yourself and identifying where you are, right? Let's look at the current script. What's working? What's not? You know, you think about you're on a computer when the computer screen gets stuck, you press Control Alt Delete, right, to do the task manager. That's what you got to do in your life. You got to press control. You got to figure out, you know, what are some things I can shift around, you know, what some things I can alter, what are some things I need to delete, you know, really have that heart to heart with yourself. um when you want to rewrite the script, you have to first admit that the script needs to be rewritten, and that goes back to you taking inventory of where you are in your life. It's first admitting, you know, when you go to AA, the first thing you have to do is admit, hi, I'm Bianca. I'm a, you know, whatever the case may be. So, hi, I'm Bianca. I'm stuck. Hi, I'm Bianca. I'm not living the life that I really want to live. And sometimes for me, it takes God has to speak to me through drastic changes, right? And sometimes it takes those drastic traumatic experiences, you know, for you to move your feet and to rewrite the script. And I think that's honestly what happened to me 2 months ago. I had a really traumatic experience, and God just shifted a lot of things in my life. And I was just like, you know what, I'm really not living what I'm living like I'm supposed to be living. I'm not really doing what I know that God called me to do. So let me rewrite some things. Let me figure out what I need to alter in my life, and what I need to delete. There are habits that I need to break. What are some things I need to start doing more of? It's just really a self inventory kind of situation, and you it goes back to you wanting it. How bad do you really want to be free? And it's going to take work. It's not a one time thing. You know, it's something that you really have to make up in your mind every day. Life gonna life today, but I'm still gonna become unstuck in everything that I do. I'm gonna do my best to be intentional. I'm gonna do my best, because it's one thing to rewrite the script, and it's another thing to live out the script. So it's effort, and you have to really be intentional about where it is you are and where you're trying to be.
Yes, thank you, thank you. You also
Mhm.
talk about, hey, Reverend Dr. Stacy May, it's so good to see you. You also talk about accountability, right? And so, what advice would you give someone who feels alone and doesn't have a support system to hold them accountable?
Becoming free is very lonely. It is, because a lot of people benefit from you being stuck. A lot of people benefit from your brokenness. A lot of people benefit for what you can do for them. So you have to be okay with you. And I'm speaking from a very vulnerable and real space. I have been really lonely and lately. And it's okay, because it's working for me. It's not something that I'm allowing to, you know, just make me feel like, oh, this is happening to me. I'm losing people. No, it's happening for me. And I believe that you have to have people around you who are like-minded. The Bible talks about being equally yoked. It's not just about someone that you're going to marry or somebody that you're entertaining in an intimate setting, but you need to be equally yoked with like-minded people who are trying to live in freedom just like you, right? Because I can't be trying to be free from alcohol, and then there's my friend next to me just keep inviting me to the bar. Or I can't be, you know, wanting to pursue dreams and aspirations and write more books, but then the other person that I'm connected to is not. They just want to be, you know, doing what they're doing and being stuck in their mundane routine. So it's about one, connecting yourself with like-minded people. But before you do that, you got to be okay with being by yourself. You got to be okay with you. You got to be okay with getting to the root of who you really are, and then you will be very intentional about who you connect yourself to, right? I used to be a really I'm overcoming being a people pleaser. But I used to be really, really bad. And I used to feel the need that I needed all these people around me. I needed to feel um like I had support, and I had all these friends, and things like that. And God is really showing me in this season that I really don't. That quality is really better than quantity, and accountability. I want people in my life that's going to push me. I don't want people that's just going to pull from me. I don't want people that are going to be leeches, and that's something that I had to really go through in becoming unstuck. Is really evaluate the roots in my life, evaluate the people in my life who are really supposed to be there for a lifetime. Some people are there just as branches. Some people are there just for a lesson, and we always mess up when we give seasonal people lifetime expectations. So it's about doing that evaluation about who's around you. And then when you get connected to the right like-minded people, then you come up with habits like, okay, hey sis, this is what I'm working on. Can you check in with me in 3 days to see how far I came with this project? It's about, holding yourself accountable, setting reminders. It's about I journal a lot now. That holds me accountable. I have a happy planner. I'm writing dates, writing due dates. I'm sharing them with people that I know won't just be like, okay, that's a good idea, Bianca, but people that's gonna pick up the phone like, okay, did you get it done? Because you said that you was gonna have it done by Friday at 5. So is it done? Like people like that. So it's really taking inventory about who's in your life, and what they want from their lives too. It's one thing to have people who support you, and we all want supporters, right? But when you're becoming free, it's really great to connect with people who want freedom too. Right. So I'm not just supporting, they're not just supporting Bianca, but they're on the journey with Bianca. They're on their own journey. And that's the difference, I think, with people just pulling and pushing. You know what I mean? Like you can push me and to do what I want to do, right? But I don't want to be pulling you along while you pushing me. I want us to push each other. So it's just really about taking inventory and then being okay with that. Everybody can't go. And that's a hard pill to swallow because it makes us uncomfortable. Sometimes you gotta say no. Sometimes you gotta say no, not today. I can't hang out today. Sometimes you gotta say no. This is not what I'm doing in the season. But that goes back to you being okay with you and being okay with having those hard conversations with people.
Mhm. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm going to make sure that there's one question on the floor. I'm going to make sure that you respond to that. But with all that you do, right? You have this multifaceted journey, your mother, your minister, an author, mental health professional. How do you harmonize all of these things and what do you do for self care?
Drink refreshers. That is really that's really a loaded question, honestly, because it is a lot. I do wear many hats, and there's some connections that you just can't break away from, right? I like I said, I love my kids, so I'll always be a mom, and I have a calling on my life to be a minister, so I always have that obligation. I do work in mental health and have to run a program for the county, so there's a lot of things and I'm still trying to write books and live the life that I think that God has called Bianca to live. I think it's about balance. I think it's about really being intentional about boundaries. I've tried, and this is all news. So I'm trying, like, I ain't gonna say this, I got this all figured out, but I'm trying to be more intentional about every aspect of my life. So, when I off work, I'm trying to give my kids, let me give my kids 2 hours, right? Let me play with them. Let me get off my phone. Let me not be trying to write. Let me not be trying to do something for church. Let me not be trying to work on the emails for my job. Really give my kids their time. Okay. Then once they're in bed, okay, then now let me work on this for church. Like I really have to break things up because if not, it will become overwhelming. I find myself getting up earlier. If I can get up about an hour early before the kids get up, that gives me time to commune with God. It gives me time to do my devotion. It gives me time to, write out what I need to do for the day. That's how lately I've been able to harmonize a lot better. Prior to earlier this year, it in the years before, I just was just going with the flow, probably burning myself out because I'm trying to do all these things and navigate all these different things and be this person for everybody else, be this person for everybody at church, and be this person for my family, and be this person at my job. And it was killing me. And that's when I
Mm.
said, I got to reel this thing in, because if Bianca is not whole and complete and being intentional about Bianca, then everything Bianca is connected to is going to suffer. And
Yeah.
that's the reality that I've been walking in lately, is that, yes, I have all these titles, but at the end of the day, I am a woman, I am Bianca, and I am human, right? So if I don't nourish that part, then the minister is not going to be able to walk boldly and complete and whole as she should. The mom is not going to be able to nurture her kids and raise her kids in the admiration of the Lord. The mental health professional is not going to be able to supervise and pour into the people at her job. So I've really been intentional with just being okay with me and building up Bianca. I put my phone on do not disturb. I'm not as available.
Mhm.
Because I have to create boundaries. I have to create a space for me not to lose my mind, because although it may look like, okay, she got it all together and she's able to do all these things. My friend told me yesterday, and I was preparing for this interview, I said, girl, I'm scared. And she said, nothing's hard for you, Bianca. And I was like, yeah, it is. It said, there's a lot hard for me. And she said, you even posted a video the other week and you were crying. And she said, why would you post that? She said, people just think you're always strong. And I said, and that is the problem. I said, that's the problem. I said that we're not transparent enough. And people, they see the pictures and they see the glamour and the glitz, but I want people to see the raw truth too. You know what I mean? I'm gonna cry, but I want you to see how I wipe my tears and keep going. Or I'm gonna have a off day. My kids gonna drive me crazy, but I want to be able to show you how I'm going to separate that. I'm going to create boundaries, and I'm going to continue forward. I'm going to take my moment and then keep it pushing. So I think it's just being okay with, I'm not superwoman anymore. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the strong friend anymore. I just want to be Bianca, and I want to nourish Bianca. And then everything that I'm supposed to be connected to, every title that I carry, will be able to function, and I can flourish in that once I take care of Bianca.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. The question on the floor: when will you start your book tour?
um, it's coming. I have already wrote a few more books lately. In this quiet season I'm in, God has really just given me a lot of content and a lot of growth really in myself. And that's really how I write. I take what I'm going through or things I've gone through, and I'm like, I can't be the only person that feel like this. So I've been writing. Um, I have a book about grief that I'm almost done with. I have a sequel to BEEcome Unstuck that I'm almost done with. So probably early 2025, I'm going to take back off, because honestly, that is what fulfills me, is writing books and traveling and really just trying to share with the world, you know, um, how to be really transparent in where you are, but also see hope of where you can be, and share that, life is gonna life. That's just what it does, right?
Mm-hmm.
That the Bible says that you expect the trouble, right? But also to encourage people that God is still God, and He will always be God, and despite what you're going through, it gets greater later. It does, and the best is still yet to come. So a lot of my books kind of share that message, just because I believe that is what my purpose is. So the book tour is coming. It is me walking boldly out and not being afraid. So yeah, it's coming. So thanks for that question, whoever asked that.
Yeah, that was Leonard. That was Leonard. Thank you, Leonard, for that question. Brenda asked, their children are 2 and 4. How, as a mom, do you empower them to be individuals, live their lives, and not get stuck? That's a good question, Brenda.
It is a great question. My children they're 3 and 4, and I grew up. My parents, my dad was a pastor. My mom was heavily involved in the church, and one thing that I am trying not to do with my children, I'm trying to let them have their own identity.
Mhm.
I know that I was at church 7 days a week, and I am trying to create balance for my kids. I want them to know who God is, and I want them to have a relationship with God. I want them to know, you know, what prayer looks like. But I also do my best to be as transparent with them as possible. I used to think that I have to, you know, create this vibe that my kids need. Oh, mommy's superwoman, and I got a cape on, and I can be this person. But that's not reality. I want them to see me cry, and I want them to know, okay, yep, mommy's crying. Mommy had a bad day, but let's pray about it. Teaching them the reality that life really is hard. But here's how you can navigate. I was
Mhm.
chastising my son one day, and I wasn't going to spank him, but I was like threatening him, and he was like, "Mom, just pray for me, just pray for me," And I thought it really caught me off guard because I was just like, "Wait a minute, what?" But even in that, I felt like, okay, I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? Like my kids know in the time of trouble, baby, we got to pray. So I think that I'm trying to let my light shine for my kids to know that, life ain't perfect. You're going to have hard days. We ain't always got the money, but you know what? We're going to pray. We're going to go to church, and we're going to just do our best to live. My kids have traveled the world. They talk about going on cruises. They talk about airplanes. I want to show my kids life, because there's a difference between living and existing, and I want my kids to live. So even at 3 and 4, they know we about to book a trip. We're going to the airport. They know God, and they know when in doubt we gonna pray.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What is next for you? How can we support?
What is next for me? I'm
Other
getting ready
than
to
that bookstore that's coming?
the book tour that's coming. Um, I I started a nonprofit, and it it geared towards young adults with mental illnesses, ages 24 to 30.
Mhm.
And the BeSpeaks, when I created BeSpeaks in 2015, God gave me the vision of a bumblebee. And a lot of times when people think B speaks, they think, yes, my name begins with a B. And that, it goes along with it. But a bumblebee, they were never created to fly. If you ever look up the history on bumblebees, they were never created to fly. Their bodies are too heavy for their wings, but they
Mm.
fly anyway. And I really identified with that um, almost 10 years ago. And so that's my brand. B speaks, BEEcome Unstuck. Everything is with the B. And then the BEE stands for Build, Empower, and Encourage. So I started a nonprofit called the Beehive.
Mhm.
And it is going to be catered to young adults with mental illnesses, ages 24 to 30, just creating a safe space for them to get resources, a safe space for them to have shelter, a safe space for them to get the mental health resources that they need to be successful. I
Mhm.
currently work in mental health, and I really see the need for young adults who need support after they age out of the system. They age out at 23, 24.
Mhm.
So the Beehive will cater to those who, once they age out, what's next? Because a lot of times there is no next, and then they're back homeless or they're back not getting the
Mhm.
support that they need. So just stay tuned for that because that's coming down the pipes. I have a few projects that I'm working on with my kids. Um, to kind of brand them, give them their own spotlight. So that's coming down the pipe. As I stated, I do have a few more books that I'm getting ready to release. And yeah, that's what's next for now. God will
Won-
probably shake some things up, but for now, that's the vision that He's given me.
Wonderful, wonderful. Where can people find you on social media?
They can find me on social media at I am Bianca Vann on Facebook and Instagram. They can go to my website, which is released today. It's iambiancavan.com. They can check me out there. They can look me up on Amazon. You can Amazon Bianca Vann. You may find a few things on there. You can YouTube me. Yeah.
Wonderful. I've put that link in the chat. And so now it's time for our drawing. I hope that you put the hashtag inspire I want to give you a second to do that if you have not done so already, so that you can be in the drawing to win this book.
This
Let me
is
put
great.
it back on the screen for those that may not have seen it. So you type hashtag inspired to win a copy of BEEcome Unstuck, a guide to help you restart your life by the amazing Bianca Vann, who is our guest today. Who is our guest today? And with that, let us draw. Yogi Million, you are the winner
Yay! Oh, that's cool.
of the book today. Congratulations.
Yay,
Oh, Nikki.
Yogi.
Is it Nikki or not? I think it's Nikki Irvin. So sorry, it came in late. But listen, if you come on back to Inspire, we'll have other opportunities for you to win. But congratulations, Yogi, on winning the book today. Do me a favor, if you are whatever Facebook page you happen to be on, go ahead and inbox me so that I can get your address and get that over to Bianca so that she can get that book out to you. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us today. All of you who have chimed in on Facebook and on LinkedIn and on YouTube and on Instagram. Special thank you to our guest, Bianca. Thank you so much. We wish you continued blessings as you purpose to do what the divine has called you to do on the earth. It is now time for us to get up out of here. I want you to have a really, really good Saturday. Until we meet again next time, I want you to stay lifted. I want you to stay motivated. Most of all, I want you to stay inspired. I look forward to seeing you again next week. God bless.